If you make it over with a 3.5, that means that you are just as academically competitive as your class valedictorian. And to the college, even though one has a higher GPA, the only place that really matters is your scholarship and financial aid. But only for the cases of admissions, no difference. Now, the number one reason why so many kids with low GPAs and test scores get into top colleges is because they think that they're low, but they're really not. The thing that most people do wrong is that they'll say, okay, if the average GPA is 3.8, then I need to get a 3.8, and that's a big misnomer. You have to be within the middle 50% range. If you're within that range, you're over the hurdle. Once you're over the hurdle, it doesn't matter how high you go over it. 3 different kinds of students can be academically competitive. The class valedictorian, the kid who barely slips in over the hurdle, and the kid who didn't make the hurdle but can still exonerate his or her circumstances. Once that happens, you realize something. There's way more kids who meet the hurdle than the college has room to accept. Everyone who pretty much wants to go to colleges has some thread of successful in them, so of course you're going to all feel like, okay, I can go to Brown. But the problem is that only 1 out of 20 applicants is accepted. So what exactly is happening? So here's the culture fit test. You have to show why you as a person are a stronger embodiment of all the things that your college looks for, more so than the other applicants who are applying. This culture fit test, turn it on its side. And what ends up happening is it's not about just like strong or weak embodiments. It's really how high did you raise the bar above what the average person would do in your same experience or position. So just like you saw USC's qualities of the ideal Trojan, here's UCLA's, right there, plain as day. Also, this is from fall 2012, so it hasn't changed in years. Here's Brown, an Ivy League school. Since 1970, they've been demanding that kids be the architect of their own education. So when kids get into Brown, not only are they all the things that we just talked about in applicants, but they're also these kind of people who want to create their own path. And it hasn't changed since 1970. Now, sometimes you might have a kid who's a strong embodiment and he still gets rejected. Why does that happen? Most people, when they create their application, they do this one thing. Most people will join top activities like ASB President and be like, I'm going to get into my top choice college. And everyone anticipates that because what they do is they take all the attributes of ASB and they project it onto that person. So when it comes to your activities, here's what happens. You can't take credit for the prestige of your organization because you inherited that. That's really not yours. Someone else came before you and they gave that to you. So what colleges say is that what have you done from your starting point? No matter who you all start somewhere. So when you measure that difference and you figure out how big is that gap, that's what you're judged on. How do you stand out from other people who have been involved in similar activities, positions, and had similar experiences as you? That's why people can be in ASB and get rejected. That's why a kid can start his own club, wear 5 different hats, and get accepted. Now, watch this. Imagine someone that you know from your past who was a real jerk to you. Maybe someone sometimes said something that made you want to cry, really insulted you, really offended you. Remember what that feeling was like. Now that you have that in your mind, that jerk, imagine that this is the jerk's application. How many of you guys still like it? Big difference, right? It's not just about what you did, it's do they even like you? So why? Because when they watch a TV show just like you do, you want the characters that you like to succeed, you want the characters that you don't like to fail.
David Reynaldo is a college admissions counselor. David says, consider this, the college evaluation form.
Colleges are measuring students.
David says college evaluation sheets have 2 columns, 1 through 8, that's academic performance or grades, and A through H, that's called the fit score. How well you fit a school's checklist of their ideal student.
If you're a 1A applicant, for example, you're most likely getting accepted with some kind of scholarship.
At first, I was really scared, not really knowing where would I start. I was asking my friends, where are you guys starting? But then after working with College Zoom, I felt like I was ahead of everyone.
So I guess we'll see.
Ah! Ah! Mom! 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 I got into Stanford!